another Manto story. In fact, I think I was inspired by Chetan's Ramkhila book. The last time he narrated it so well, I wanted to read up Manto, and I've been a big fan ever since. So this story is called 10 rupees, and I wish I do justice to this story because it is written out very beautifully. Okay, 10 rupees to Manto. She was playing down the alley, and her mother was searching for her in the chawl. Kishori was waiting for her at her home. In a haste, Sarita's mother mixed some coffee and tea and gave it to Kishori just to keep her busy, and she ran out of the chawl looking for Sarita. And as she did so, she was screaming, "Sarita! Sarita, where are you? Sarita, Kishori is here, where are you?" But there was no response. Sarita's mother showed this urgency because she knew that there were 3 rich men waiting for her in their car outside on the other side of the wall. Rich men in cars don't come by every day, and she knew that. And Kishori always saw to it that he got Sarita at least 2 good customers in a month. Kishori was a clever man. He would never ever bring those guys to the other side of the wall, because he knew that this place had a stench of rotten pan and burnt out beedies. He would always ensure that Sarita gets dressed up and walks to the other side. And today, when there was a rich man waiting in the car, Sarita was missing, and the mother was very, very furious. She was going up and down in every floor of the chawl looking for Sarita, all furious. And as she screamed her lungs out, the neighborhood paid no attention to her. However hard the mother tried to maintain a facade of honorable living, the people in the neighborhood knew. They knew exactly what Sarita was up to, decked in these beautiful saris, meeting these so-called friends in fancy cars. So today, as Sarita's mother was screaming her lungs off, nobody paid any heed to her. Finally, she walked out of the chawl and found Sarita by a heap of trash. Everything possibly rotting could be rotting in there, and Sarita was completely oblivious to the stench. It was her new hideout. So she was playing there with kids of her age, some silly games. And as soon as her mother saw her, she came and grabbed her by her hand and yelled at her, "What are you doing playing with these silly kids? There's Kishori waiting for you. There is a man in a rich man in a car. So please, for heaven's sake, go get ready and wear the blue sari. And please fix your hair up." Sarita's face lit up at this mention of the car. She loved car rides. She didn't care 2 hoots of the men that came to sleep with her. But she enjoyed the car rides, and she always wished that they were long enough. When she was in the car, the idea of the wind whipping over her face made her very, very happy. She felt alive. Sarita was just a 15-year-old kid. But she behaved like a 13-year-old, playing silly games with her friends. She hated speaking with the other women who would want to gossip about the neighborhood. And she would always sneak out and play all those silly games with her friends. Sarita was not the conventional beauty that you would normally hear or talk about. She was not fair-skinned. She did not have sharp features. In fact, her face looked glossy all the time because of the weather in Bombay. Her lips were so dry that it reminded you of the pale brown skin on the cheek of fruit. And there was always 4 beads of sweat on her upper lip. And in spite of all that, she looked healthy. In spite of living in a dirty, filthy neighborhood, she looked healthy. Yes, she was short, she was chubby, and that chubbiness probably lended to her looking healthy. And she had a twinkle in her eyes, and she had a playfulness in her smile, and that made her look all the more attractive. And she was also attractive because I think she was a blissful soul, free from all worry. Yes, Kishori did come and get her customers in a month to entertain, but that never really bothered her. Perhaps because she imagined that all girls who were 15 years of age would go through the same thing. They would go with some rich boys to some cold bench in a park, or some wet or to the wet sand in the beach, or to some dark and dingy hotel. Well, what happens to her must be happening to the other 15-year-olds, right? So what was the big deal? In fact, she told her mother, Mama, next time I go out, I think I'll take Shanta with me. You know, she'll be 15 in 1 month. And you know the guy who regularly takes me? He buys me eggs. And I don't like eggs so much. Shanta loves eggs. So the next time he comes, you send Shanta with him. Of course, her mother never paid attention to what she said. Her chain of thoughts was broken when her mother yelled out at her and said, Get ready, Sarita, that man is waiting for you. So she quickly draped the blue sari around her. She took that rusted mirror and placed it between the windowsills and took her foundation and applied a generous coat of makeup. And then she ended it with a nice red shade of lipstick. The sum effect was that she looked like a clay doll that people sell during the Diwali season. And when she was all done, her mother walked in, fixed her hair up and gave her some last piece of advice. She said, behave like a grown-up, okay? And that man is rich. Just do what he tells you. Understand? And she just nodded. On the other side of the wall, there was a yellow car waiting under the sign that said, No urinating. 3 rich men from Hyderabad were waiting for her in their cars with their noses covered with handkerchiefs. Obviously, the no urinating sign was not taken seriously. And as they waited, they saw Kishori approach them. One of the guys alerted the others and said, Look, it's a girl with Kishori. Look, she looks beautiful. And Kishori came, opened the back door of the car and pushed the girl inside. And as he was about to leave, one of them asked him, You shot this girl and create a fuss? No, sir, relax. I'm in this industry for some time now. She's cool, don't worry. You just go have fun. And the driver started the car. It was 5 p.m. in the evening, and the streets of Bombay was abuzz with a lot of traffic, cars, trucks, trams, people everywhere. And Sarita sat there with her legs squeezed to each other, with her hands resting on her lap. And as she waited, she was waiting that this car would pick up some speed and maybe she would enjoy that ride. Nobody talked for some time. She was told by Kishori about the Manto. Kifayat was the driver who was taking them out. The one on the right was from Hyderabad, his name was Shahar. And one on the left was Anwar. And apparently he was very nervous. He looked like he could fall sick any moment. It was probably his first time. And as the car zipped through the cities and crossed the suburbs, Sarita sprang to life. She sat there with her feet tapping, with her fingers drumming on her thighs. And then she looked at Shahab and gave him a nudge. And she stroked his cheeks. Shahab felt very relaxed and he put his arms around her. She pushed him away and inched closer to Anwar. Anwar looked really pale. He looked like he needed a doctor. So she gave him another nudge and he tried to maintain his composure and sit quiet. She wanted to help him shed his inhibition. So she pinched his ears. And suddenly everybody in the car burst out laughing. And as they burst out laughing, Kifayat, who was driving, gave her a wink. And on an impulse, she just jumped to the front seat and sat there. And as she sat there, Kifayat kissed her hand. She looked at him, her body tingled. And then very quickly, Kifayat took a 10 rupee note and gave her. And he kissed her hands again. Then she forgot all about the kiss the minute she saw the note. She crammed it into the gloves and kept it safely. She looked at the wind gushing past her and she enjoyed the breeze. And she broke into a song. So sing with me if you know. सुहाना सफर और ये मौसम हसी, सुहाना सफर और ये मौसम हसी, हमें डर है हम खो न जाए कहीं, सुहाना सफर और ये मौसम हसी. And she was happy. That's the thing that she was waiting for. The ice finally broke. The men were clapping and singing along with her. Kifayat was honking to the tune, and she was really happy to see this. And she saw Anwar was finally able to relax, and he was happy and smiling. Shehab was happy. Kifayat was happy, but overall, she felt happy. And the car sped up, lurching across the road, till it reached a dead end by the bridge. She jumped out of the car and rushed to the coast. She stood there next to the water, and she wondered, should I fade into the horizon, or should I dissolve in the water? Or maybe I should soar and rise high up in the sky. And she stood there wondering. The men ran behind her with bottles of beer. She turned around, grabbed one of the bottles and said, "Let me pour you some." So they sat there and had their beer, one after the other. There were 6 bottles down, all but Kifayat and Saadat. And then she sat there with their empty bottles. She banged them against each other and said, "Wow, what a beautiful sound this is." And she burst out laughing. And then on an impulse again she said, "Kifayat, let's go on a long drive." And she rushed to the car. The men were staggering. They followed. Kifayat started the car. She sat and they started talking to each other. She turned around and saw Shehab and Anwar fast asleep because they were drunk. They didn't know what to do. They sped up the car, taking a round of the city, and they talked with each other, spent some more time laughing and singing more songs and clapping to it. They felt very happy. And soon they reached the famous wall with the no urinating sign. She stepped out and waved a goodbye to Kifayat. Kifayat just sat there wondering what just happened. He was dazed. And soon she came back, took the 10 rupee note from her blouse and dropped it on the seat. Kifayat wondered, "What is this, Sarita?" She said, "This money, I don't need it." And she walked away. Kifayat stared in disbelief as she walked and disappeared to the other side of the wall, but with a spring in her